Hey, Trailblazers. So I just remembered I was gonna make an announcement on my social media to let people know that I'm online. So we're gonna jump on, we're gonna talk. Okay, so how are you guys doing? How are you doing? Post below, share a message, let me know how you are. We're all going through this together, okay? So jumping on, like I said, yesterday. I really enjoy doing these lives. So I usually do a live in my Trailblazers Inner Circle group, and then I jump on here and I do a different live for you guys that you can work through as well. So it feels really good to be back to doing these. I shared with my other group earlier that like this morning I was feeling kind of tired, and I can recognize and realize that it's because this collective energy and collective fear, like I've taken some of it on, which we do naturally when we're unaware. And so I was actually going to jump on, I was going to jump on this morning, and instead I felt like just going to the gym and having a nice coffee and going for a bit of a walk. But the gym was closed, which is all good. Had a nice coffee, had a catch up with some friends, went for a nice walk, and then I've come back. So, I really kind of like centered myself before I felt like in a good place to be able to help and support others as well. So jumping on to share with you, hi David, so jumping on to share with you, fear. I wanted to talk to you guys about this word fear and this collective energy that is out there. So the collective energy is really what everybody else is going through, and there are times in life when everyone seems to be talking about the same thing or going through something similar, and we kind of pick it up and we share that energy around with others without either realizing and so on. It's not always a good thing, but it is incredibly important to be aware and to feel empowered that you can do something about it. So fear is an illusion, okay? Fear is just a story, and fear is a narrative when it's broken down into away from that bigger picture. And if you were to write it out and say, this is what I'm afraid of. Thanks for the love. I don't know who's giving the love, but thanks. So, hey. So fear is just a story. If you were to write it down, by the way, I'm just going to go back into this, right? Post any questions. Let me know how you're doing. Let me know how things are. It's awesome to connect with you here. So it's a narrative, it's a story. If you were to write it down, you would see it for what it is. And there are processes to work through. So personally, I've been through so much in my life where it's just been pretty much fear-based, and every single step of the way, I have stayed true to love and this vibration, this core essence of who I am and who we all are. And fear has no backbone against love at all. And so, yeah, I really sat with some kind of shadow parts, let's just say, which have felt really scary. And they felt really scary because I didn't know what they were. I didn't understand the story. I didn't understand the parts. I didn't understand the narrative to do with this fear story. And so what I've learned and what I teach and what I take my clients through are a process to heal these fears. So I wanted to jump on and just bring some perspective to help you guys just to navigate and move through this, okay? So essentially fear, like I said, it's an illusion, it's a story, it's playing out, okay? And it's a vibration. It's a lower, denser, tougher, vibration. And naturally, we're light, right? Naturally, we are light and we are love. But there are things and words and energies which feel heavier and denser. To transmute them is really important. And what that means is that we're transforming them so that we can be in this space where we're feeling grounded and feeling balanced and feeling love and feeling harmony and feeling really, really good and light. So something has to be done with the fears, okay? A lot of it can be released once you're really, really good at it, just like that. But what I wanted to share with you here is recognizing when the fear is yours and when it's somebody else's. And by somebody else's in this circumstance, in this current climate, I'm talking about what is being projected out onto others, okay? There is a lot of fear hanging about the air. You are a powerful, powerful, free and sovereign being. We all are, okay? From our heart space, if you just put your hand on your heart, inhale and exhale. Inhale and feel your heartbeat. And exhale. And one more time. Inhale. Feel your heartbeat and exhale. You are free. You are sovereign. You are powerful, not powerless. And what this means is that you get to return to this center, your heart space, in every single given moment. Every single given moment, regardless of the narratives and the stories that are being put out there, information overload, the hype, the stories, blah, blah, blah. You know what I'm talking about, okay? I want you to come back to your center. And I want you to know that you can send back any fear that is not yours, okay? So this is essentially the process. When you're feeling afraid, check in with yourself. Is this my fear? Is this something that is this mine? Like, is this story of not feeling good enough, or feeling afraid, of being worried about where money's going to come from, or of not being a success, or feeling like a failure, like these kind of examples. If it's yours, ask yourself, is this my fear? And if it is, then great. I'm going to give you a technique to work through that, okay? If it's yours, then that's great, because you get to transmute and transform fear into love, okay? If your inner guidance is saying, this is not mine, this is not my stuff, this is not my fear, this is not something which is mine, it's been projected onto me, you can release it back to the sender, okay? So the way that we do this, what I'll go through if the fear is yours first, okay? So there are 4 steps, and this is what I teach in my book, 101 Plus Ways, which is on the other side of the room. So I teach you that with fear, you have to feel it, like acknowledge where it is in your body, feel it, and like discern what type of fear it is. What is it that you're worried about? What is it that you're afraid of? What is it that you're scared of? Feel where it is in your body. And then I say embrace it. And what I mean by embracing it is to just not feel afraid of it, to come back to the space of, okay, I'm not afraid of this. Yeah, I see it for what it is. I recognize this fear as this thing. I see it as something. Embrace it. And when you acknowledge it for what it is, you acknowledge it for what it is. Okay? And then what you do is you release it. So you release it with love. You release it and you say, thank you, I let you go with love. Okay, I release you, I let you go with love. This is what we do with fear to transmute it when it is ours. Okay, it's a beautiful process, and it literally just didn't take that long at all, just as an example there, and you get better and better at it when you practice. When fear is not yours, when it's been projected onto you by other people who are afraid, who are worried, who are just projecting their own fear experiences onto others because they haven't learned how to deal with it, they haven't learned how to transmute it, they haven't got hey, thank you for the love, they haven't learned how to process it, they haven't learned how to release it. There is something that we can do, okay? And I'm all about, as you guys know, I'm all about those love hearts. I'm all about love, not from like a crazy denial point of view. I know very, very well the kind of shadows in this life experience, right? But I always come back to the center of who I am in my heart space, which is love, which is the same for each and every single one of us. So when someone we love is going through an experience of fear, and they don't have an internal state of safety or an internal sense of safety, then we can actually hold space for them to release that. Now, it might not just be other people. It could be, say, for example, what the mass media is putting out there, things that we're reading, blah, 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 blah. You get to ask yourself, is this my fear? If the answer is no, this is not mine, you get to release it. And literally, you can say, this is what I usually say, so I've just written down. So I return this back to sender, transformed with love, and I return to my inner center. I come back to my inner peace. Yeah? I return this story, I return this fear, I return this experience back to sender, back to source, transformed into love, and I now come back to my center. Yeah, I now come back to my inner peace. I learned the very, very hard way. You know, I was very angry growing up for a really, really long time. And I manifested some fucking crazy situations into my life which reflected that very anger back. And I learned the tough way that if I meet anger with anger like this, there's only going to be more of this. And at some point, somebody has to neutralize it. And we neutralize anger and fear and insecurity and jealousy and projections and hatred and anything of a lower vibration, we transmute it with love. And you have the power, you have the skills, you have the strategies and the ways to keep coming back to love. Okay? So I hope that you have found this useful. Please do share any comments below, any questions that you might have. Share this with your audience. Let people know that there is content coming on my page every day, most days. Support is here. I'm always here for you guys. Send me your questions through. We're going to get through this for sure. Absolutely, we're going to get through this. And we're going to get through this with authenticity. Like literally the blessings that are just surrounding us at this moment in time are just incredible. So let's just keep going. Like I said, if you have any questions, post them below, share this video, save it, comment, all of the good stuff. Have an amazing day. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon. And I love you lots. I love you lots. Mwah. Take care, and I'll speak to you really soon. Bye.